The stock market has been going up. Just like every week, man, I'm gonna give y'all my portfolio update. I didn't make too many changes, but we're gonna get into the portfolio update. Last week, I wasn't really able to do the portfolio update. I'm going through issues with phone storage on my phone, and then the laptop wasn't working and all of that. So we back to business though. I'm gonna give y'all the portfolio update. And since I didn't give y'all an update last week, I'm gonna just drop some gems, right? I'm gonna just drop some random gems. And I'm gonna also let you know what I'm looking for my next portfolio pick, right? So without further ado, we're gonna get into the portfolio. We're gonna pull up Robinhood and we're gonna see what the portfolio looks like. So I got Robinhood pulled up. We got about $2,000 in assets, right? We got about $2,000 in assets. We got Nvidia, about 9 shares of Nvidia. Um, Nvidia is AI. Nvidia on Friday, man, it looked like it was going up a lot. Around 11 p.m., we were up 2%, $4, but it ended the day at 78 cents. So being that it went up $4 and ended the day at 78 cents, I feel like it was something above pushing it back down, right? Like the stock wanted to go higher, but there was something setting it back down. It was still up on the day. It was still green for the day. Um, my what I got 9 shares, 8.9 shares. My 8.9 shares got me about $7.50 on Friday. So the stock wanted to go up a lot and it pushed it back down. And I'm gonna show that to y'all on the chart too. And when I show y'all charts, it's not about learning to be a trader, but more learning price, right? So far, Nvidia up about a total of $300, um, with probably 1,100 invested. We up 26% on Nvidia. Um, and like I said, if y'all notice, I didn't add any positions to the portfolio. But I do got some on the watch list. You always got to keep your watch list open. So we gonna look at the S&P 500. Y'all know our dollar cost average into the S&P 500, $20 every 2 weeks, and we are up $16 on the S&P 500, about zero point 0.4 shares. Um, and man, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like investing in your individual account, buying these individual stocks, man, it's good. It's gonna help boost your it's gonna boost it a lot faster. But there's nothing better and safer than the S&P 500. All right, so we got Nvidia up, S&P 500 up. My gold is still down. I think I'm probably down a total of $2 on gold, but gold I'm holding forever, so I ain't worried about it. So gold, we down a total of $1.60 on my 2 shares of gold. Not really tripping on that too much though. Um, and Exxon Mobil. So we got Exxon Mobil. I think Exxon Mobil finally went into the green. I got almost a share of Exxon Mobil, and we up about 91 cents. So as y'all can see, most of my portfolio is concentrated in Nvidia, which is not a diversified portfolio. You don't want to have heavy concentration, but this is how I build out my portfolio. I build out my portfolio with the strongest player first. Heavy concentration on the strongest player, and then I start to diversify it and build a team of investments, right? So I think we doing pretty all right. We are beating, let me see. So last week, I always show y'all if I'm uh beating the market or not. So last week, um The market is the S&P 500, and last week the market was up 0.01% last week. Barely made any movement. Last week 0.01, and on the month S&P is up 3.5%. Right? And if y'all want to know where I'm looking at for the percentage, underneath the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, you can see down at the bottom where it says it's up 19.4. That means $19.50 is what the price of the S&P 500 has increased. And that's 3.5% last month. So we're down on the week and 3.5 on the month. Let me see what I'm looking like. So I'm up 11.7. So that's 3.5 versus 11.7, which means my money over 3 times the S&P 500 in the last month. But it's long-term investing, so you got to keep that momentum. And I'm up 3% on that last week. So I beat the S&P 500 last week and last month. We want to keep it going. So I'm not adding anything into the portfolio again this week. I'm probably gonna add more on to Nvidia. I mean, I feel like Nvidia is like running away from when I first bought it. I got to average a hundred and I got to average 130 per share on Nvidia, and it's at 164. When I literally first bought it, it was at 114 like a month or two ago. So I want to keep building on to Nvidia, but while I'm doing that, I want to do my research. So let's look at the news. Let's see what the news is talking about, because that Nvidia, that candle that I seen on Friday, Nvidia showed me that, something might be going down. So we're gonna do some investigation, see what direction we think the stock market is gonna go next week, and what are some prospects. You always got to know what your next move is going to be, and prepare for your next move. Have cash on hand or have an asset that you want to liquidate in order to make that pivot. So we're gonna pull up the news. I was looking at it earlier. I didn't really see nothing too crazy going on in the news, but if we look at the news, Trump is talking tariffs again. That could catalyst for the market. This want to go down. Is unlikely to work. How do U.S. universities become vulnerable? Nothing extremely tragic. Some good news. Some mostly bad news. Air India crashes. Trump views taxes, the disaster. So it's nothing crazy, but it looks like the overall vibe of the news is bad, right? So before I go too far, I want to show y'all what I saw on the chart Friday that gave me a little sense of, okay, maybe Nvidia may be losing steam a little bit. So we're at all-time highs, and all-time highs means that we are in territory that the stock has never made before. So if you look left of this candle, right, and all this is price. So you use this mainly for day trading, but if you want to also look at price instead of just looking at the number 165, you go on trading view, and this is these candles are a representation of price. This is on a daily time frame, so each candle represents one day. So you read left to right, all the way over to the right was Friday, right? And when you look at these candles, you have a body and a wick. And the wick is so much longer than the body, which means Nvidia went all the way up to 100. My bad, let me get that off there. So what this means is Nvidia went all the way up to, Nvidia went all the way up to almost 178. but finished the day at 165. So that gives me a little, and the thing with all-time highs is, you know what I'm saying, you have no information above you, right? Because the stock is gonna keep going up. Stock is gonna keep going up. My bad. I was supposed to be sharing the chart with y'all. I thought y'all. I'm gonna keep switching to make sure I verify. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go back over that real quick. Um, so as y'all can see, all the way to the right over here, and like I said, these just represent price for each day. So this was Friday, and Nvidia went all the way up to 168 and got pushed back down. By the time the day finished, it finished at about 165. So we're at all-time highs. Usually, if there was any additional information, if you look to the left, you could actually see, okay, there's something to the left. I looked to the left and there was a reason why the stock got pushed down, right? There's certain levels that the price will just get smacked back down at, right? So, like, if, for example, if you look at this right here, if you look at this line right here, you notice through history, the price will come up to this point, get knocked down, come up to this point, get knocked down. And it looks like it passed it, but whenever it passes a new area, you want it to come back down and retest. So when it retests, it formed it as it is no longer resistance. So over here, it was resistance. It was going up and getting pushed back down. So it came back down and pushed off of it, showing that, okay, this is now support. So previous history can kind of show you where you think the stock could come back down to, where it could go up to, and whatever. But since we're at all-time highs, there's nothing above us to let us know if the stock is going to get pushed back down or anything like that. So I don't like to just predict, oh, because we're at all-time highs, the market is gonna, start to go down. The trend is up. We're gonna expect the trend to continue to go up until it shows us something different. But because we have levels below us, we know that, okay, well, if Nvidia drops real hard, somewhere up in here is where I could expect, somewhere up in here, these levels here is where I can expect Nvidia to come back to load the boat. You want to buy low and sell high. So you load the boat once it's coming back to retest these areas that it bounce from, right? Um, so that's a little bit of price chart work. I like to keep the MACD up here for y'all. It's not a trading course, so I don't get into too much, but the MACD is still pointing up green on Nvidia. We're at all-time highs. We're in an upward trend. I feel like the market, or Nvidia at least, can still continue to go up. Let me look at the total stock market. The total stock market index, according to the MACD, it does look like the MACD may be turning red. Next week, we could probably see, based on the total stock market and then that little negativity in the news, the stock market could probably come down next week. Beginning of the week, middle of the week, not too sure, but just based on the chart and the news, I'm kind of getting that vibe that the stock market, the news starting to talk about tariffs and all of that again. So just a quick, um, so you gotta have tech in your portfolio. I always say that you gotta have the S&P 500 in your portfolio, dollar cost average into that, just in case you get to a point where you go 3 months, 4 months, 5 months without buying a stock, you're still buying the S&P 500. So I did tell y'all a minute ago, in one of my previous videos, that I was gonna relook at United Healthcare. I know United Healthcare has been getting smashed, right? So we're gonna look at United Healthcare and see. Um, we're gonna look at United Healthcare and see what it has done since then. So United Healthcare is still no motion on United Healthcare. And the reason why I'm watching United Healthcare is because healthcare to me is a mandatory for a portfolio. People get sick no matter what. If the economy is doing good, healthcare will make money. The economy is doing bad, healthcare will make money. Healthcare to me has to be in everybody's portfolio. Some of my top favorite, Eli Lilly, HCA, and I've been watching United Healthcare, but it doesn't look like United Healthcare wants to bounce back. United Healthcare was way up here at like 500 something, 600 plus a share, and now it's half off. I'm talking about Prime Day ain't even got deals like that. But I did say I was gonna look at United Healthcare's financials. So let's do that. Yahoo Finance. So the chart that kind of just gives you an idea of stuff, but Yahoo Finance really tells you whether you need to buy the stock or not. All right. United Healthcare. Let me make sure I'm sharing this with y'all because I know sometimes I don't beat. All right. So United Healthcare. Ideally, you really just want to make sure. I mean, I'm gonna make a master class. I ain't gonna give y'all accounting for the free. I'm gonna give y'all a master class on how to read financial statements. Um, but you want the gross profit, basically, you want your profit to be increasing. Operating expenses, they could stay the same, they could decrease, they could even increase. But a company that's increasing revenue and hopefully decreasing debt is a perfect company. So just looking at this, you want consistent growth, right? So the total revenue, United Healthcare is consistently making more money year after year. Their cost is going up too. Their cost of revenue is going up. But if you look at their gross profit, that's the difference between the total revenue and the cost of revenue is what you get left over is your gross profit, right? So the gross profit increase. I don't like this stagnation for the last 2 years. We've been increasing, but I don't like the fact that it's been a little stagnant, right? Total expenses is going up. Total expenses usually do go up when they are trying to expand their businesses. So nor here nor there, but total assets increasing as well as total liabilities increasing, total debt increasing. Um, uh, with all honesty, in regards to United Healthcare, and I'm glad I remembered to circle back around for United Healthcare with y'all, but regarding United Healthcare, to be honest, I am not in love with the stock. Looking at the balance sheet, I'll give it a nice at a from if at a grades A through F, I'll give it a nice I don't know maybe C. It's a nice C in regards to the balance sheet and the finances. Could be a C plus, close to a B maybe. Um, and I'm probably more loose with my B than I am with my A, but um, I would say it's more of like a C plus, a real close to a B in the financials, but nothing really exciting, nothing I really love. But I do love the fact that it's in healthcare, and I do love the fact that it is half off. The stock has decreased 50%. Um, so I'm keeping an eye on it. It's not my favorite healthcare play, but I am keeping an eye on it. I do think in regards to healthcare, United Healthcare is the biggest position in the S&P 500. So there's something about this company. But I like other healthcare plays better. I'm gonna jump into those. But we're not at that point yet. I'm not gonna get my healthcare stock anytime soon. So that gives me time to look at United Healthcare, right? So that was going over the portfolio. We reviewed United Healthcare like I told y'all we were gonna do. A little bit of chart. But there was one more thing I wanted to do before I got y'all up out of here. We could go back to the portfolio, just be both, just in case it take me a while to remember. You know what I'm saying? We got Nvidia. We got Nvidia. Nvidia is really making all the money for me, to be honest. But as y'all can see, I started this maybe a month and a half ago, and Nvidia has already made me $300. So when you pay in taxes, right? I have about 1,500 in Nvidia, and 300 of those dollars is taxes, is profit. So the only taxes, if I were to withdraw all of this money, the only taxes I would have to pay is on that $300. Right. So keep that in mind. If you ever got an emergency, you need to pull out of your stocks or whatever. Keep that in mind. But I do have a feeling the stock market could go down, but it could go up. It's not a definite. But if it does go down, look for your gas plays to perform better. Your, Exxon Mobil, Chevron. Look for your healthcare plays to do good. Um, and then anything news related, if they're talking tariffs, if they're talking war still, anything news related could do well next week. Another thing I really like, one to keep out on your watch list, especially for like a recession. I really like insurance, like car insurance. And I was thinking about it and doing some research, listening to Warren Buffett about it, and I literally just switched my car insurance. And car insurance is literally like, I mean, to be real, if your car is paid off, car insurance is literally like paying for nothing, right? Because you're paying that premium. You're not getting anything in return except for the ability to not get a ticket if you get pulled over. So, how often do you get pulled over? How often do you get in an accident? Insurance companies really just collect free money. And I was looking at them. I think Progressive is my favorite insurance company. So if you're looking for something recession proof, insurance companies are really good. And I think Progressive is probably my favorite insurance company. Let me pull them up and see how they have been doing year to date. So Progressive year to date, let's see what they looking like. Progressive year to date is only up 3%, um, which is not beating the stock market. Um, but keep your eye on stuff like that. Insurance, utilities, these are things that you have to spend money on regardless. So when the stock market is going down, you do have to have safety in your portfolio. So far my safety in my portfolio is the I could pull the portfolio back up, but so far my safety in the portfolio is the Exxon Mobil and gold. Right over here. XOM is Exxon Mobil and IAM is gold. If you notice on Friday when Nvidia looked like it went up and came down and barely got any return, if you notice, ExxonMobil got just about as much return as Nvidia did, and gold had a better return than Nvidia did, which means my safety blanket assets did better than my growth asset on Friday, right? So that's why you need that's why you need um that's why you need safety and diversification in your portfolio, not just diversification against sectors, but you also need diversification in other countries and so on and so forth. So as I build out this portfolio with y'all, I'm gonna show y'all all of the education and how to diversify, which stocks to pick, which ETFs to buy, and all of that. Um, but this, I want to get into the biggest profit potential in your portfolio, but the most risky. And when I say most risky, when you're investing for the long term, there's not too much risk. The stock market goes up over the long period of time. Can't nobody guarantee you no money. So that's why they say risky, but the stock market goes up. That's what it does. So I want to kind of teach y'all the biggest potential in your portfolio because I actually I actually caught one, right? And it's really hard. I'm trying to create a method, but I caught one a long time ago, and I want to kind of teach you how to keep it on your watch list, and then I'm gonna add some to your watch list too. So Palantir is an AI stock, right? Palantir is an AI. Let me make sure I'm sharing the screen. So, Palantir is an AI stock. Has been blowing up recently. They have like government contracts. So it's AI, government contracts. You know what I'm saying? Their bag is secure, right? Um, and what I'm trying to teach y'all today is how to look for penny stocks, right? Um, how to shop for stocks with the biggest potential, right? But if we go to Palantir's history, when I first started investing, I probably heard somebody mention Palantir, and I literally just like was like, "Oh, okay, the stock's pretty cheap." Bought some shares or whatever. But if y'all look all the way at the bottom, I purchased Palantir April 19th of 2022, and it was $12.85 a share, 2.3 shares, right? So my little $30, you know what I'm saying, a couple years ago for two shares would have been, what is it at? Like 170, 170 something. Let's see, Palantir. So basically what I'm talking about today is penny stocks. Penny stocks are stocks that are usually within, oh man, at like $20 a share. My little $40 would have been about 300. So that's how you get the biggest potential in the stock market is finding you a great stock, right? I sold Palantir since then, didn't hold on to it, but I've been doing my research lately because I will be adding some, right? But I'm creating a system to add penny stocks, right? And the reason why they're real risky is because when companies first open, they have to use a lot of debt to get capital. They don't have a proven product. They don't have a dedicated client base. It's really risky, but they have the biggest potential, right? So what you need to do, you go on your watch list on your investor portfolio account. You go on your watch list and you start going down where I think I created one myself, right? So you want to you want to go through every time you get you like a nice penny, find you a penny stock or anything like that, you create you a watch list. I don't know about every investing platform, but on Robinhood you can create a watch list. um Dang, I don't know how to see my watch list on the laptop. um But we'll pull up my watch list on the chart. Not really. for chart specific stuff, but more just so where I could show y'all the price of stuff, right? So I have a watch list of penny stocks. Um, we gonna go with Sound Hound AI, right? So SoundHound AI, we're currently at about $11.50, right? We got the MACD look like it's about to come down. If I was to buy SoundHound at all, hold on, let me pull it back up. If I wanted to buy SoundHound at all, first I would make sure that since the MACD down here looks like it's about these lines about to cross and it's going to go down red, I will wait for the MACD to switch back up to go green. So that's first before I would even buy it. It's $11 a share. If I wanted to dip my toe in the SoundHound, what I would do is probably buy two shares and then see what it does. But um, let's look at SoundHound and see what does SoundHound do. So you want to know what you want to know what the company does. You want to know what partnerships they have. Sometimes, all right. So we got it. So SoundHound is, if you just now tuning in, SoundHound is one of the AI stocks that I've been paying attention to, more like a penny stock that I've been watching to try to get big growth in my portfolio. So SoundHound, make sure y'all can see this. All right, yeah. So SoundHound is a AI voice company that enables business to build customized conversational voice assistant. Here's a breakdown of what they do. Okay. Technology, speaking land, call to order, text to order, in-car voice orders. Okay, so I could see SoundHound being implemented in drive-throughs. Major clients, here we go. Here go the partnership. Major clients include Chipotle, Casey's, White Castle, Jersey Mike, Applebee's, Church's Chicken, and others, right? So we got good partnerships. Um, we grew revenue 151% in Q1 of 2025. Total revenue expected to be between 157 million and 177 million, up from 85 million in 2024. So our revenue is increasing. We got good partnerships, and it looks like we're kind of AI voice. So this might be the play for replacing receptionists, replacing people at call centers. I could see SoundHound being that replacement for them. Y'all know I like AI. But literally what I do, I go in these I go on Monthly Fool, I ask Chat GPT, and I just get a list of penny stocks. I get a list of penny stocks. I look at their financials, I look at the relationships that they already have, and then I just put them on a watch list. If you have a penny stock that goes from say $8 and then it's at 40, that's a strong move. Now, is that guaranteed that it's going to go up higher? Nah, it could go to 40 and then go back down to $2. And then you in a negative. You know what I'm saying? Penny stocks are extremely risky and uncertain because there are more penny stocks that are going to do bad than good. So when it comes to looking for penny stocks, this is something that you have to do thoroughly, and you also have to do it consistently. I don't have to keep looking at Nvidia. I just keep buying. It's a $3 trillion company, the biggest AI company. I just keep buying Nvidia. I don't look at, you know what I'm saying? I don't, once I make a decision and I'm certain on something that I bought, I'm not really paying attention to it much no more because I believe in the CEO. They've been running the business without me. I ain't got to be present. You know what I'm saying? I'm now looking for other investments. So, because I have a feeling the stock market has a potential to go down next week, chances are I'm either going to add to ExxonMobil. Next week is either going to be ExxonMobil or Nvidia. More X shares of ExxonMobil to help me weather the market going down, or more shares of Nvidia at a cheaper price if the market is going down, and I think it's gonna go back up. So it depends. I might add to Nvidia to lower the average of Nvidia, or add to ExxonMobil to help weather the storm of the market coming down. But we are at all-time highs. That doesn't mean the market is going down. Currently the direction is up, but this is just me trying to do a little foresight or whatever. So for this week I want you to if you missed any of my portfolio updates, go through the playlist, look at all of them. That's first homework. Second homework, I want you to not only plan and know your next play, your next stock pick, and be ready for when you're gonna buy it. But now you have to add penny stock search to your consistent routine of how am I gonna find the perfect penny stock. I already gave y'all one. Let me see. Let me Monthly Fool. So I like Monthly Fool. Monthly Fool literally posts like penny stocks and all kind of stuff all day long. I don't have no membership, so I can't really, go through all the research or whatever. But if you wanna, what I'm saying, if you wanna, look at a certain company or something like that, for instance, you can, go to the professionals, Martley Fool, see what they talking about. I use them. I use AI, and so do my own due diligence. So between other people's opinion, AI, you know what I'm saying. I kind of do my thing, but um, so what was that? And since I don't know how to pull up the list, I'm gonna show y'all what my list looks like on here. Maybe you can add some of these to your list, maybe not. Um, Hopefully I get another Palantir, but we'll see. I know I got lucky on that one. Um, so SoundHound AI is one I really like. Um, RX is a penny stock that I've been watching. They are AI. They are RXRX Pharmaceuticals. They're an AI pharmaceutical company that is using AI to try to treat and cure, or treat, cure, and also diagnose, very challenging diagnosis that we've been struggling over a long time to fight. RXRX also partnered with Nvidia, so they got the best AI chips. Now, partnerships over the years, I've seen partnerships, people buy off of partnerships, and then partnerships fall out. I done seen that. So a partnership is not the only reason to buy a stock, right? So SoundHound AI, RXRX, um, are two. Let me see if I could give y'all at least one more. SoundHound AI, RXRX, and um Big Bear AI. So Big Bear AI, that's not one that I did any research on. I haven't looked it up, nothing like that. I just put it on my watch list because I seen it online. Somebody else was talking about it. And when I say somebody else, I'm not talking about a YouTuber or nothing like that. I'm talking about like Motley Fool, these, people that talk money and look at money all day long. So that's what we're doing now. We're adding to same to some of the same positions. You don't have to finish your portfolio right away and be like, oh, my portfolio is the perfect soundproof portfolio. No, my portfolio has a lot of vulnerabilities. 80% of my portfolio is in Nvidia. I don't have a strong dividend play in my portfolio. I don't have healthcare in my portfolio. So my portfolio is not a safe portfolio. If the stock market crashed right now, my portfolio would crash a lot harder than the S&P 500, right? Um, so that's it for the portfolio stuff all this week. Um, I want to show you how to just because I missed last week, I want to drop, probably one to two gems real quick. Um, and if you ever seen one of my swing trade Sundays, I've mentioned this a lot before. Um, but if this your first time seeing your boy or seeing this at all, this is what we call CNN has created what is called a fear and greed index, right? And this lets you know how people feel about the market. So it's the place of buyers and sellers, right? So if there's a lot of fear in the market, people are selling. If there's a lot of greed in the market, people are buying. It could go to 99. That doesn't mean that it's time to go down. It could stay there for a while. It could hold. But if you notice, when you look and you see that, when you look and you see, okay, last week we became less fearful, and the week before and the week after that we became less fearful, then it kind of gives you an idea of what direction the you think the stock market should go or continue to go, right? So this is a trick that I use with the fear and greed index. First, I look at it just to see where we're currently at, right? But then if you look 1 month ago, we were greedy, but it was at 61. That means we were coming up from fear, right? 1 week ago, we were extremely greedy, 78. So the market has been going up at least this past month, which makes sense. It shows in my NVIDIA investments. So the market has been going up last month, last week. The previous close is still close to the 78, but it's less. So there's a little less greed. They've probably seen that candle with that long wick, like, okay, what is pushing the stocks? What is pushing the stocks down on Friday, right? Because we're at all-time highs. There's nothing up there to push the stocks down. So there's something that pushed the stock down. We just don't know what it is yet. And Trump gonna let us know pretty soon um, why the stock market was pushed down. So the fear and greed index is a very useful tool to identify which direction, or at least how people are feeling in the market, right? Um, but also, one thing you want to pay attention to is bond yields. When bond yields go up, that means people are putting their money into safer assets, right? Bonds are usually government backed securities where you get a specific percentage yield on your investment. So when the stocks are going down, instead of getting negative percentage, people will then take their money and put them into bonds to at least get the fixed rate of return. So if you get 4% on your bonds, you get that 4% instead of losing money. Then you take your money out of bonds and put them back into stocks when stocks are going up. Reason why I don't do that is because of capital gains tax, of course. If you pull money from stocks, you have to pay capital gains tax, put it in bonds, you're paying capital gains tax every time you sell. So how I make my portfolio is just to buy them and hold them. Set the portfolio up for protection, but also growth, passive income on dividends. Um, last thing I'm going to, and I'm just trying to randomly knowledge drop just because I kind of, you know what I'm saying? I dropped the ball on my portfolio update mainly because it wasn't because I was slacking, it's because I ran out of room in my phone and then the laptop was tripping. So I got like two, three ways to upload stuff on YouTube, and I wasn't even there with it. But we are, ladies and gentlemen, we are beating the market. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all have a certain stock that y'all want me to look at. If you're interested in buying a stock, and that's one thing I want to add into this segment. So if you are interested in a stock, get in my comments. I don't have that many comments to where I can't respond to everybody. So you get in my comments, you want me to review a stock or crypto or assessment. I'm better at stocks than crypto. Cryptos are a lot more speculative. But you want me to review anything, get in the comments. I can let you know. I can even create a grade system so you know what to expect from me. If I give you A, B, C, and then reasoning why, I'm gonna even create that. So if you got anything you want to buy, let me know. Keep investing no matter what when you get paid, and do your due diligence and like and subscribe.